Welcome, I am Sabine Simonson, Outreach Services and Volunteer Coordinator for the Talbot County Free Library, and you are watching On the Shelf, the show all about the library. And I am here today with Tim Young, local author and illustrator, and when you see Tim and I together, then that can only mean one thing. It means June is around the corner, and in June the summer reading program starts, and for that we have a kickoff, and it is the annual Children's Book Festival, our fourth annual Chesapeake Children's Book Festival. Yep. Biggest kickoff, I think, of any library. Have you heard of any other libraries who have a book festival as the
kickoff? No.
I haven't either. I think for Maryland, totally we are the only ones, and I'm thinking bigger than that. In the United States, I dare you find another one. We've done it 4 years, and every year we say, wow, are we going to do it again? Because it is so much work, and we literally start in January with the planning, right? And here we are, excited as excited can be. And
in the last month or so is just so crazy. You think, oh, I can't do another one of these, and then the event happens, and it's like, oh, we got to do another one of these.
I know. It's so much excitement. It is so much fun. If you have never been to one, and I don't think anyone has not come, right? Everyone has been there. It is, for once, it's on a Saturday. It's June 8th. From 10 o'clock till 3 o'clock at the library in Easton. Mm-hmm. And the way this all works is we have 25 children's book authors and illustrators, right? Mm-hmm. That we select. How is the selection process?
So I send out an application announcement at the end of the winter. I spread the word to all of the authors that I've met, and they spread the word to authors that they've met, and it gets out there through social media. Then we collect our applications. We have a selection committee, of which I'm not a member because I know too many authors and I don't want to play favorites.
That's true.
But they choose who's going to be in this year, and they made some great selections of the people who applied, and we're just raring to go.
And if you're wondering why Tim's the one sending out the invitations, it's because it's basically your brainchild. You are the co-founder of this Children's Book Festival with Marie Uren, who sadly has moved away.
Right.
But it's all on you now.
it's entirely my fault. I'm to blame.
Your brainchild.
I've been lucky enough as an author to have traveled to a lot of different book festivals. I've met a lot of authors along the way. I've seen really, really great book festivals. I've seen some that could use some work. I've learned a lot, and I thought that Easton could really benefit from having one. The authors love to travel to wherever they're invited to sign their books and meet their audience. So it just seemed like a natural fit to mix in with what's happening here in Easton.
And then you approached the library, and of course we'll never turn down a good book festival, right? And this fabulous partnership was born.
Yeah, it's worked out very well. Yeah.
So when these authors, they will all sit up at a table, and there will be author readings, right? Mm-hmm. There is a schedule. Not all authors will be able to read.
No, we just don't have enough time.
Because it's only from 10 till 3. Yeah. But there will be, I think it's in the Frederick Douglass Meeting Room, right? Where we have author readings.
Yeah, because this year we're back at the library. Last year we had combined our festival with the Juneteenth celebration because we happened to have it on the same weekend, and it worked out in celebration of Frederick Douglass's 200th birthday. But this year we've moved it back to the library. We'll be indoors in the main meeting room, and readings in the Frederick Douglass room, and arts and crafts and all kinds of things.
There is lots of other things going on in the library, like the Judy Center is there, and the children can make their own book. I know 4-H is going to be there, and I talked to Bonnie the gal over the weekend, and she says, we have a Star Wars origami. I said, we're totally in, because this year's summer reading program theme, it's a national theme, is a universe of stories. So I like this. This is the poster Tim has designed, and the crab with his little astronaut outfit, and all the books that have sort of
I had some fun making space puns with all the books.
Which I totally love. I love your idea of the crab and then all the other children's books around it. You come up with these cool ideas every year for our poster.
I get to play a bit. So.
You do get to play. And you have every right to play since you are the co-founder of the whole thing.
Well, I'm very pleased that in the 4 years that we've been doing this, the 3 that we've had so far, have just been raging successes. We've had so many people come from all over the East Coast, you know, up and down from, you know, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Ohio, as far south as the Carolinas.
California.
Well, and we had people from California
and
last year.
also last year from California, right?
Well, and that's the thing. The authors come from all over. This year we've got someone coming out from Tennessee. We've got people coming down from New England, from New York State, from New York City and Brooklyn. A bunch of New Jersey authors and some Pennsylvania authors, as well as a bunch of Maryland local authors as well.
It's really growing. See, I want this to be on a grander scale. Down the line, like plein air, waterfowl, you know, make this a town event. That is my total goal. And who knows, maybe it's a lofty goal, but if you don't have lofty goals, I always say shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you land amongst the stars. Again, that's a space theme, right? Wow.
There you go.
And speaking of people who are helping us out, actually, Talbot County gave us money towards the,
so
the
what
festival,
we do,
right?
our budget on the Chesapeake Children's Book Festival side of things is about $10,000 a year. A big chunk of that, is about $8,000 of it, we use to fund purchasing books. And the reason that we purchase books ahead of time, and then we figure out how many we can give away. And we give away about 300 to 350 books each year through the summer reading program. So
Right.
anyone who signs up for the summer reading program, any kid gets a voucher, can walk up to any author, pick a book, get it signed, and walk out and not have to pay a dime for it. And it's been a really wonderful way to get books into the community. And the authors are thrilled when they find out that we're giving away so many books.
So are the kids. I have seen children who, they get a book, they like books, but then they literally meet the author sitting there, get to talk to the author of the book that they just picked, and get it signed, and it opens up a whole new world for them. It's a whole different relationship to a book when they meet the author.
Right.
I've watched kids over and over getting so excited, and it's contagious almost, isn't it?
Sure, and they get to realize that, you know, authors are just people like them,
Right.
and you know,
Right.
and it makes it make more real to them that, hey, maybe someday I can write a book.
Sure, absolutely. Who else is one of our partners? Because we have
Okay,
a lot.
so
We have
here.
also Shore United Bank comes every year,
They
and
are
they handle the
fantastic.
money part of it, right?
They handle checking out the books and taking the credit
They
cards,
do
payments.
a good job.
This year they really stepped up a lot in helping with the fundraising. They did our mailings for us to reach out to different sponsors. Some of our sponsors this year, and I'm going to put my glasses on and read to make sure I don't miss anyone. We have, of course, we mentioned the County Council gave money, the Imagination Library gave money, Easton Utilities, the Midshore Community Foundation, which is sort of our parent organization. Shore United, as we mentioned, gave money as well as a lot of services that they do. Lori and Michael Frame, as well as a lot of other small donors who contributed to the
And
festival.
Target will be there. Target is there
Yes.
every year as well, and they bring water, and they sometimes have giveaways, and they send
Yes.
some volunteers. They hoof it, and Target is very good too. They
are.
always
Oh,
are
absolutely.
there at these community events. Master Gardeners will be there too. And,
Right. They're one of our partners,
They have
and,
programs, the Maryland Extension 4-H, the Judy Center, as I mentioned earlier, they're doing a program with Make a Book. So I think it's going to be, I have refreshments, it's going to be one of these community events that everyone is invited and welcome to. I want to just talk about a little bit about this one artist that I read here in our press release, where I said to Tim, oh, there's an artist who designed and built Muppets for Jim Henson. And then Tim said, oh,
Yeah,
that was me.
That's me.
Oh, do tell.
Well, I mean,
I love the Muppets. Kermit, I mean, hello.
it was a dream job that I
Yes.
had early in my career. I went to school as an illustrator, but I did a lot of sculptural work, and after working on a number of animation projects in New York City, I got a chance to interview for a job at Henson and got the job and worked in their studios doing some design work for some new characters for a show that they were producing called Jim Henson Presents. And I got to build a few Muppets. And actually, just this year, this is exciting. So one of the things I built was a dog puppet for this show they created called Dog City, which was a gangster movie with all dog characters. And my puppet was a Whippet, which is like a small greyhound, and he was dressed as the newsboy. Now, that was my job was kind of over, and they took all the Muppets and they brought them up to Canada to film the show. I knew nothing about the behind-the-scenes filming until this year. I was trying to find a photograph of my Muppet to put into my slideshow for my school presentations, and I came across some video footage someone had uploaded to YouTube of behind-the-scenes filming of the show.
Oh, really?
And what I didn't know until this year, 30 years later, is that Jim Henson himself operated my puppet.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Now that is cool, yes. That is cool.
Yeah, in the opening sequence, when all the dogs are singing, he's got my puppet on his hand. So.
On that note, because I can't follow this, please let us take a break. We'll be right back.
We are MCTV, Midshore Community Television. We want your help in making our station more robust so that we can better serve the residents of Talbot County. So, how can you help? If you are already making video content, submit that content for broadcast to the station. It's free! Are you involved in events, shows, or lectures that would be of interest to the community? We can work with you to figure out the best way to capture those events for airing on MCTV, be it training, equipment rental, or hiring our production staff to film at a reasonable rate. Do you want to produce your own show? Let us help you get started. Come be a part of this valuable community resource. Email the station at nick@avalonfoundation.org or visit us in the basement of the historic Avalon Theater at 40 East Dover Street in downtown Easton.
The Avalon Foundation and MCTV programming is proudly supported by Chesapeake College. Chesapeake College, your time, your place.
Hi, and welcome back to On the Shelf. I am here with Tim Young, and we are talking about our 4th annual Chesapeake Children's Book Festival that's being held on Saturday, June 8th at the library in Easton from 10 till 3. And you brought a pile of books.
And this is just a small pile of books compared
Because
to
we
the
have
many
25
books that we have.
authors, but we want you to get a bit of an idea who's going to be there. So, Tim, bring it on.
So this is just a sample of some of the authors that we have coming in their books. Each author has at least 3 titles that they'll be bringing. Sue Fleiss, who's been with us before, brings her new book, Ninja Camp. We have Laura Gell, who's bringing 3 brand new books that have just come out. This one called Baby Astronaut, a really sweet little board book.
Very fitting for our summer reading theme.
Paul Jack is bringing The Book Tree, his new book that's out this year. It's a really lovely book. And another from Sue Fleiss, Mary Had a Little Lab. Very good
Not
STEM.
a lamb, but a little lab.
A Little Lab, another
festival.
STEM
Nice.
themed book. Suzanne Bloom brings us I Just Like You. She's been here before, and she has 3 different books this year.
I love those illustrations. How adorable
Very,
are these?
really nice.
Yeah, really cute.
And then we have some new authors who haven't been here before. Kathy Brysacker, who brings her brand new book that just came out last week, Chip and Curly. A lovely little book about potatoes, having a race.
Oh my God. It's a potato chip and a curly fry, isn't
And
it?
she is a brand new author this year. She's bringing 2 books. Also, Cave Kid's Birthday, which came out a month or so ago. And then Jody Moore, this is her book, When a Dragon Moves In. This will be her first time attending the festival.
Again, I love the illustrations. Look
Yeah.
how cute
Oh,
that
these are
dragon
great.
is. Oh my God.
Yeah, there's some beautiful scenes in there. Really well
I
illustrated.
so love children's books. I used to be a preschool and kindergarten teacher.
You
So
must be very familiar.
I'm very partial to children's books.
And then Susan Montanari has her Hip Hop Lollipop, which is a really clever rhyming book. We also have another first-time author new this year, Lauren Greenberg, and The Battle of Junk Mountain, a middle grade book for some of the older kids.
Nice. Yes.
And then we have a husband and wife team, Miranda Paul, whose book 9 Months Before a Baby is Born, which is a really lovely book about the steps of a family welcoming a new baby.
Oh, I love it.
And also she and her husband Baptiste have their book I Am Farmer that they wrote together. So both of them are going to be here, so you can get this book signed by both authors,
Oh, I
which
like
is really
that.
nice.
Very cool. Very cute.
And then the one I'm very excited about,
Oh,
because I just met her this year, Doreen Cronin, who, if you don't know this book, I don't know where you've been. Click, Clack, Moo, Cows That Type. It was a Caldecott Honor book. It was illustrated by Betsy Lewin, who I've known since my days at Pratt Institute. And I was very excited to meet Doreen last year in Brooklyn, and she's coming down. She also has her book, Duck for President, which is a spin-off of Click, Clack, Moo.
I love the duck. I love duck so much.
It's very cute.
It's, again, and the illustrations are just fabulous. This is very exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So we've got a great group of authors. That's just some of them.
There's many more, yes, because we have 25 altogether, so it's a huge event.
Oh, and they let me in too.
Yes, of course. Yes, you are in, and I want to get to you in a second because you have a new book. But first, I want to let everyone out there know who else is coming. The Star Wars Troopers and Rebels.
Yes.
We shall have, since it's a space theme, a universe of stories, we are hoping to get Star Wars Troopers and Rebels also do join us there, and you can take your picture with them. I certainly will do that for sure. And I also want to mention Susan Kehoe, who was our fundraiser last year and did an awesome job and sadly passed away. So we have dedicated the festival, and on all our records and posters, it's dedicated to the memory of Susan Kehoe, and we want her family to know that. And
no, she
I'm
was
sure she's smiling down on us because she worked so hard last year.
She did. She was a real, real plus to the festival. I mean, we couldn't have done it without her last year, and she's sadly missed.
Yes, she certainly is. So when kids sign up for that summer reading program, as we said, they get a voucher to go to one of the authors, but they also can purchase our summer reading t-shirt.
Oh, that's sweet.
They're not very expensive, so get them for your kids and let them walk around in the summertime with... See, it matches totally with what we are wearing, isn't it? Now, there's one more thing. We have a fan film screening of Star Wars Revelations at the library, and it's on Thursday, March 30th at 6:30. And you know the people who did that. You said they're friends of yours?
So, 14 years ago, this film was made. It's a fan film, which means that it's because they don't own the rights to Star Wars. Star Wars allows people. George Lucas would allow people to make these films so long as they didn't violate copyright or try to make any money off of them. They can't have people pay to see them.
Hence, we show it at the library, where all programs are always free and open to the public.
So this film was made by a fellow here in Maryland, and he hired a good friend of mine, Gina Hernandez, to be one of the stars of the film. Gina has been an actress. She's been an extra in a lot of features and television series, and she's been in some other fan productions. And so she became one of the stars of the film. And then her husband, who's been my best friend since high school, Frank Hernandez, got a small role in the film as well.
Very cool.
That kept getting expanded.
Oh, nice.
And so ends up getting a lot of screen time.
Oh, okay.
And so they're going to come down. We're going to screen the film, and then they're going to do a Q&A session with the audience.
There's actually a special appearance by Frank and Gina Hernandez.
Yes.
You know, I was an extra in a film too.
Were you?
I was in The Wedding Crashers.
Oh, nice.
You can see me 3 times. You can't really blink, but you can see me 3 times.
Well, now people have Blu-rays and they can freeze frame. And
totally, yes. I mean, I am in a Hollywood movie that was quite successful. It wasn't a dud, right?
There you go.
It's still reruns, so... Yeah, little factoid for today.
It's your other famous...
Other than the lady from the library, right?
Well, and the star of a book.
And the star of a book, yes. Let me show you something. Because that goes hand in hand with the theme. Tim Young last year came out with a book, I'm Going to Outer Space. And will you have this at the book festival too?
No, because each author can only have... I had it last year, and we're allowed to bring 3 books, and I've had 3 books come out this year. So I have my new books coming.
Now I want to show you something. Find me, because I am in the book, and here I am.
Yep. Where's Sabina?
Where is Sabina? And wait, there is more. I'm also right here. And no, I'm not done yet. I am milking my 15 minutes of fame. I'm totally up to 21 now. Here I am again.
There you are.
I've made it into a children's book
As an alien.
as an alien, which totally works for me, pink hair and all. You have a new book, however,
I do.
out, which I have read and seen, and it is so adorable. And it's called Untitled.
Yes.
Untitled. And the whole story is just so much fun. And your characters are Carlos.
Carlos, who is a Coatimundi, and a Coatimundi, if you don't know, is a relative of the raccoon from Central America and South America, and that's him
Carlos,
over there.
right?
Yes, and that is Ignatz, who he's mostly a capybara, but he starts off as something else because it's a very meta book. It's about these two characters who are waiting for me to write their story.
I know.
And they're frustrated. They don't know what I'm doing, and they start making suggestions, and things gonna go off the rails. So
They do make it's almost like a book about, it's like the Seinfeld of children's books. It's a book about nothing in a way, isn't it?
It
As
kinda
they
is.
Wait for you to
It's-
come up with something, and I like that.
I started to think about my characters as kind of like being actors in a play. And so it occurred to me, well, what would happen if nobody wrote the play? And so they're just kind of waiting for something to happen.
You are the writer and the illustrator of this book, and I like this one where they say, "I wish we had a better writer. There are so many good ones. It would be great to be in one of their books." I know, with so many fantastically talented illustrators, I'd love to be drawn by one of them.
Yes. And then I poke fun at other people's books by putting my characters into their books.
It is just really, truly an adorable book, and it's out now, right?
No, actually,
it's coming out.
by the time this airs, it will be out. It'll be out May 28th is the actual official release date.
You are getting then the first
There
tips.
you-
All of you watching, this is like the live premiere, world premiere of Untitled.
Yes.
Now, how did you come up with these characters being a Quadamundi and a
Capybara?
capybara? It's not your regular
It's not teddy bears. No.
animal that you would
Yeah.
see in a children's book, right? It's a little on the dubious side.
I like unusual animals. Of course, my other books are, the angry little puffin who
Right.
is upset because he's not a penguin. And one of the books I'll have at the festival is If You Give the Puffin a Muffin,
yeah.
last year's follow-up to that book. So I do like unusual animals. I was in Mexico a couple of years ago,
Oh,
and we came across a family of coatimundis in the
Yes,
mangrove
so
trees,
cute, yes.
and they were so sweet, and I thought, I got to
Yes.
use these guys in a book. And then, I like capybaras too. I just like unusual, lesser known animals. I feel they deserve
Which
attention.
is great because the children now know what these animals are, and
Yes, a little bit of education, just a tiny bit in one of my books, but mostly they're just silly nonsense. So.
which is lovely. I had a great time. And
I also have
Yeah.
my other book that I'll have this year is More Creatures and Characters, my follow-up to Creatures and Characters, which is drawing awesomely wild, wacky, and funny animals. And so it's a drawing book and a creativity book about, drawing silly things.
And you are an amazing illustrator. You have
Well,
been
thank
to
you.
our library before, and you've done little workshops with kids. And
And I'm doing another one this summer. So, yeah.
I am amazed how he stands there and he starts drawing a circle, and then you add to it, and all of a sudden there's a monster there, and the kids learn how to do that as well. They've drawn some amazing things.
Oh,
I
yeah.
cannot draw a stick figure, but wow, I'm in awe of your talent.
Well,
I
thank you.
really, truly am. And organizer of our Children's Book Festival.
Well, I wanted to, give back to the community. I love living here, and I knew that, the kids in this community, it's nice for them to be able to come out and meet some of the authors, some who I've met and some who I haven't, and I look forward to meeting those that I haven't yet.
And it's great for the adults too. We
Oh,
always
yeah.
have a really good time. So again, it is on Saturday, June 8th at the library in Easton. I think the library in St. Michael's will be closed that day because
Yes.
all staff is going to be in Easton. It's from 10 o'clock in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. Come by, everyone is welcome. Sign your kids up for summer reading. Get a free book from one of those fabulous authors. Enjoy yourself, listen to music, have a little food, hang out, say hello to us.
Yep.
and come and see me at the library anytime. Bye-bye.